Crash Bandicoot has a deep and colored history. From franchise highs to franchise lows, Crash has seen a lot. So I gathered 5 facts that you might not know about this Bandicoot. Let's talk about it. What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and if you're watching this, I'm currently up north and taking some time off, but just because I'm resting, it doesn't mean that you miss out on content. Crash Bandicoot has so many interesting facts about its past. There are facts from entire books dedicated to Crash's development, to little known facts uncovered by fans, and today I wanted to show you 5 facts about Crash Bandicoot you may not have known. Number 5. Crash Bandicoot's voice. Crash Bandicoot has always been seen as the silent protagonist. Throughout his history, if you exclude the 100% ending of Crash 4, Crash has said very little, from only saying "wow" and "uh-oh" and I guess pancakes. But did you know that Crash originally was supposed to have a voice? In the Crash Bandicoot Files, which is a fantastic book, they actually include an early script for the game. Now, of course, we know that Crash Bandicoot at one point was named Willy the Wombat, but that was changed later on because, well, Naughty Dog hated the name. Willy the Wombat had actual dialogue in the game though, which is something kind of weird to think of. Essentially, his voice was supposed to be just a bunch of different pop culture references. Think of like Genie from Aladdin or Batty from Fern Gully, which I am now realizing are both voiced by Robin Williams. I wonder if that was Willy's inspiration. Anyway, later on, Naughty Dog decided against his constant pop culture references, and just to keep him a Bandicoot, a few words. Number 4. Crash Bandicoot's unused cutscenes. Further along in development of the first Crash Bandicoot game, it was planned for Crash Bandicoot to have animated cutscenes. In fact, a song and the cutscenes were done and animated, but was cut later down the line. In 2015, one of the producers, David Siller, found the animation and posted it online. It's kind of funny to think because Crash Bandicoot's main inspiration was Looney Tunes, and they definitely show that with these cutscenes, making the start and end of the game look like a Saturday morning cartoon show. I couldn't exactly find the reasoning as to why it was cut. Maybe the style just didn't match with what Universal was looking for, or maybe it was just too big for the small PS1 discs back in the day. Who knows? But it is cute to see something like this from way back in the day. Number 3. Poor working conditions. This one is kind of sad. So most people see the original trilogies of both Spyro and Crash as the most magical and the most nostalgic. But sadly, behind the scenes, the publisher at the time, Universal Interactive, treated both Naughty Dog and Insomniac games like absolute garbage. At Naughty Dog specifically, long hours at the office was a common occurrence, something that we now call crunch. Universal was pressuring Naughty Dog to release a new Crash game every single year. This in turn caused a lot of frustration between Universal and the heads at Naughty Dog. But not only was Universal pressuring Naughty Dog, but they also were insanely cheap. I mean, cheap. It's really bad. All the way from the equipment to the amount of people on the team that they could hire. To give you an idea of how cheap they were, they applied so much pressure to Naughty Dog to get the games done that they obviously had to stay late every day, while Universal would turn off the air conditioning in the building to try and save money. Now imagine being in a small, cramped office full of computers producing heat in the California summer with no air conditioning. These poor working conditions caused Naughty Dog to just about walk away from Universal after they finished Crash Bandicoot Warped, which leads to my next fact. CTR initially wasn't going to be a Crash game. After Crash Warped, Naughty Dog was sick of working with Universal and wanted to leave. Naughty Dog wanted to break free of the platforming scene and do something different. After a lot of thinking and much time playing Mario Kart, Naughty Dog wanted to create their own take on a kart racer. Universal, however, was absolutely losing their marbles. They wanted more Crash Bandicoot content from Naughty Dog. As time went on, Naughty Dog didn't seem to care what Universal thought and continued their development of their take on a new kart racer. That is when Sony paid a visit to Naughty Dog. They spoke with the team and with Universal and decided to come up with a compromise. Naughty Dog could continue developing a kart racing game, but it had to be branded as a Crash Bandicoot racing game. Thus, Naughty Dog fulfills their desire for a new game while also making Universal happy. Both parties agreed and Crash Team Racing was born. Number 1. Crush Bandicoot. No, that is not a spelling error. Crush Bandicoot is, well, was kind of a thing, kind of. Crash Bandicoot was supposed to be a spin-off that stars what was supposed to be Crash Bandicoot's evil twin brother. The game was pitched by a very small company called Magenta Software back in 2004. The idea was that Cortex created yet another Bandicoot, which was Crash's twin brother apparently, named Crush. Except this time, he was not as wacky and zany as Crash, but a lot more, how should I say, angry and destructive. Cortex, again, was still the main villain of the game, and it took place in a sci-fi open world where Crush could use a variety of vehicles to cause destruction to all on his path. It was relatively unknown as to what Crush actually looked like, besides this random photo of him sitting in a big car in a giant green screen. In a previous video of mine, we actually go through a bunch of color corrections and adjustments to get a better idea of what Crush looked like, and it turns out Crush had crazy red and yellow eyes with dark, shadowy purple fur. I then hired Mel the Honeybee to draw a modern look for Crush Bandicoot, a small but interesting slice of Crash Bandicoot's history. And those are 5 facts you may have not known about Crash Bandicoot. Was there anything you didn't know? Comment below and let me know. Thank you so much to all those who not only support the channel, but myself and my family. Because of your contributions, I'm able to do this full time. If you'd like to support the channel, please consider clicking the join button or becoming a Patreon with the link in the description. I also live stream every Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on by and say hi. Again, thank you to everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next video and or live stream.